All right, y'all. Well, welcome to Saturday service. If anyone else joins us, we will include them in today's topic. Y'all know how we roll when people start rolling in, and it's great. So we'll include them in today's topic. Today we have a really fascinating topic, and it's how to get the world to recognize your brilliance. Now, why do you guys think that that is essential for aligning with our dreams and goals? What do you think? To get the world to realize and see our brilliance, what does that have to do with accelerating our success and attracting what we desire and things of that nature? What do you guys think? Say it again? Yeah, okay. Helps you be more in alignment. Cool. What else we got? I'll take one more. L. L's like looking everywhere but at me. Right, all at once. That makes sense.
I don't think you're going to like it, but this is what the first one was. Is if they're recognizing it, it means that I have to recognize it first.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a reflection of you recognizing your own stuff. So we're going to focus in on how to begin this process in a really beautiful and brilliant way. For a long time in my life, I actually didn't even realize the benefits in connecting with this and realizing your own brilliance and getting the world to see you as brilliant. So today we have a really special topic. We're going to focus in on how to get the world to recognize our brilliance. Now, I spent a lot of my life feeling absent of brilliance. I felt a lot of my life feeling disconnected from my own innate intelligence, and for a long time, it led me to believe that others have a high level of intelligence, but Nicky does not. And I've shared this many times, but it reflected in my grades. Now, when I experienced my grades in school not be so great, how do you think this made, what feeling did this amplify within the self? What do you guys think? So Nicky was disconnected from realizing his own intelligence. Love that thing. And it reflected in me, right? So like in school, I'm not really paying attention to the teacher. Was anyone else like that? Show of hands. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Right? Yeah, you too, Milo? Okay, cool. Wasn't really paying attention. I remember writing a lot of songs in my head when I was in school. I was a ruminator, and I wasn't paying attention. This reflected in my grades not being so great. My grades not being so great, what do you guys think this amplified within the self?
It's a feedback loop.
It's a feedback.
You're validating that you're not capable or whatever that word is.
100%. I'm starting to feel even more disconnected from myself. Now, who remembers what's known as the law of reflections with a show of hands? Al, you want to define it for us? Nice. You remember? Hell yeah. Go ahead.
Your internal state is being reflected.
Yes. So whatever you feel about yourself, however you're treating the self, it's going to reflect back to you in your life, right? If we are the co-creators of our reality, right? You're an entrepreneur. When you're an entrepreneur, you have a pretty good understanding of this. It's like, okay, we create our reality. I'm going to go after my dreams and my goals. Okay. Well, why are we actually going after our dreams and goals? There's a part of us that subscribes to the knowing that we create our reality. If we create our reality, what does that even mean? Well, in a lot of ways, life is a mirror, and this is what's known as the law of reflections. We use this analogy all the time, but if I were to put a full-length mirror in front of you, and I asked you, Steph, to have the mirror wave, what would you have to do, Steph? We're just learning every week at Saturday service. Hey, yes, yeah, boom, mic drop. Yeah, you wave if you want the reflection to wave. Okay, and you guys will hear me share this analogy probably each and every week, because this is the essence of how to create the life that you're asking for. If you want that mirror to jump, what are you gonna have to do? Yeah, your reflection jump? Yeah, you're gonna have to jump. Well, life is no different, but here's a little bit of the difference, okay? The difference is life is reflecting your energy. So that's why it becomes a little bit complicated. So let's say you want someone to put you first. Okay, let's say I put that full-length mirror, I threw it away, and I put Milo in front of you. And I was like, hey, I need you to get Milo to put you first. What would you have to do?
I'd have to have Milo pick me up and move me in front of him.
Okay, so that's one way. Yes. Now, if you wanted that person in front of you to appreciate you, what would you have to do?
Appreciate myself.
Appreciate yourself. So life is a little bit different, meaning life is reflecting our energy. And we have these 8 different areas of our life. Some of those areas are physical, some of them are spiritual. What are some other ones? Family, mental, social, financial, nailed it. Passion/hobby is another one. I might have said spiritual already. Vocation, all right? So this is where it becomes a little bit complicated. And I want to give you guys a brief understanding of how I use my intuition here, okay? If I'm not putting myself first, let's say I'm experiencing like financial blocks. Most people stay stuck in the problems that they have because they think the financial block is their problem. They're like, money is my problem. I'm not experiencing a lot of money. I have to fix money, 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 money. As an intuitive, I'm looking in at where energetically they don't feel in alignment with what money represents. Now, what's one of the feelings that money, or what's one of the reasons that we want money for the feeling? Like, what's the feeling? Nice, security, beautiful. Hi, Ashna. Security. Ashna, what's one reason, a feeling as to why we want money?
Abundance.
Okay, abundance. Yeah, what else?
Freedom.
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 Value. So what I'm doing as an intuitive is I'm looking at your life. I'm looking at your life from a bird's eye view. I'm not looking at the money problem. I'm looking at where you don't feel free, where you don't feel valuable, where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel secure. That's creating the money blocks. And this is what the world has yet to teach us, at least what I've seen through the intuitive lens. But what we're focusing on at Saturday service in Source Clarity is identifying the ERC. Stands for what? Emotional root cause. I'm looking at the emotional root cause creating the blocks. So I don't care if your block has to do with a knee problem. I don't care if your block has to do with you got ghosted. Nicky's never gotten ghosted. Just kidding. Joking. Shared my ghosting story last week, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care if you're getting ghosted. I don't care if you're in a relationship and maybe it's not going well. It's reflecting like a mirror. It's reflecting back to you your energy. So with intuition, we're able to identify the needle in a haystack blockage that's holding you back from abundance. And many people, they spend years, like let's say if it's like something like, I just pointed out on my socials today, acne. Someone asked me about acne, like can we heal acne in a one-on-one session? And the answer is yes. But I'm not really just looking at the acne itself. You can spend your years and years attempting to find acne solutions and going after like to fix the symptom. We're looking at what created the acne in the first place. Now, who knows the ERC, emotional root cause, of what can cause acne? Does anybody feel like they have a guess? Stress, yes. Okay, stress. If we were to go even further with this, anger. Nice, anger, yes. So if it's on the face, typically it has to do with feeling anger in regards to how we're perceived. If it's on the back, it has to do with anger in regards to experiences, or a lot of the time it's perception, so how we were perceived in the past or things that happened in our past. And so we could spend years attempting to have, do the acne solution, whatever, like all these other things when it comes to the physical body and the blockages in our life. So today we're focusing on how to begin to get the world to recognize your brilliance. Well, why is this beneficial? Well, one of y'all pointed this out earlier, is because getting the world to see you as brilliant is getting you to realize your brilliance. But why do you guys think it's beneficial to realize your brilliance? Now, there's a number of different answers that I'll take. I'll bring it back to the one that I'm thinking of, but what do you guys think? These are my magic hands. Why is it beneficial for us in our lives to realize our brilliance? What do you got?
You move more in alignment.
Okay.
With your brilliance.
Yes, you move more in alignment with your brilliance. Does that increase our coherence and our clarity? What happens when we create more clarity within? Ashna. Ashna's like, what's that?
Everything lines up, like you're living your highest aligned life.
Yes, because if we harness high levels of clarity within, that creates a coherence. This creates a coherent electromagnetic field, okay? Which is responsible for shaping and dictating the matter around us. Science is beginning to understand this more and more, right? That we are all broadcasting an EMF, okay? The heart's got the greatest electromagnetic field of any organ in the body. So when I begin to realize my brilliance, and this is where I'm getting back to, you're beginning to see you for who you are. So I want you guys to think about an experience that you've had in your life where you don't feel like yourself. Well, there's many reasons for that. One reason is because you don't feel connected with your brilliance, therefore you don't think others see you for your own brilliance. But here's what's really great, is that each of us has something within us that is Albert Einstein and beyond level genius. I'm not sharing this to simply just make you guys feel better. I'm sharing it from a mathematical perspective. Now, On the other end of that, I'll humble y'all. There's also something that we're the worst in the world at, that we're like, have a high level of ignorance. Like you can intuitively looking at my life and there's probably something that I'm an idiot at. But because everything in this universe is in perfect balance, there's also something within us that is wildly brilliant. And most people go their whole lives without realizing their brilliance. So if I feel disconnected with my brilliance, this is gonna cause me to feel disconnected with the equanimity, our favorite word around here, peace, purity of who I am. What does connecting with our peace, purity, clarity within allow us to live life guided by? Starts with an I. Steph, everyone's afraid to move. He's gonna call on me. And yes, allows you to live life guided by your true self, the whole and complete you. What happens if we're not living life guided by the true self? We're living life influenced by what? Say it again?
Others?
Yeah, exactly. Others' opinions. Things that we think will bring us happiness. So, no one has to raise their hand, but how many people have ever, don't raise your hand if you don't want to, but maybe have been like in school, maybe you're on social media, and you see someone you're highly attracted to, okay? And that want for them is, it's not like a, sort of a neutral, yeah, exactly. Y'all are just calling me out today. It's not a natural pull. It's more of like I really want this person. Like I really want, and I don't feel like I can have. And then all of a sudden that person is on a pedestal. And then you start making decisions that are influenced by what others think instead of guided by the intuitive self. But hear me out here. Why? Get it out, Hal. Elle, did you ever get the case of the giggles in school? I know, God, I did too. All right, so why does that happen? Anything. It could be like you have a super big crush on somebody, or like let's say you want $1 million, and it's not like a spirit pull. It's not like ooh, I can have this. It's more like I really want it. If I don't have it, I'm gonna be unhappy. We all have those things. Where does that come from? Lack, yes, feeling lack, exactly. So here's what I want you guys to understand. If there is a person that you find, if we're just using the person as an analogy, okay? This you can utilize this, insert anything that you really want. You have this person on a pedestal. You're like, they're the most attractive, sexy, beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. All that they are reflecting is where you don't feel that same energy in your own life. So your higher self, source, is collaborating to communicate with you. You can have that. But many people are like, if I have that, then I'll be happy, right? But many people are not feeling that same energy, that same level of zest, excitement, joy, attraction to their life. So they think, you know what? If I get in a relationship with that really sexy, hot person, then life is gonna feel that way for me, right? And so this is what happens. It all goes back to when we don't recognize our own brilliance. Because when we realize our brilliance, now we're tapped in more to our innate self. Our innate self is where the joy, where the attraction, where the happiness, where the goodness resides, right? If I am connected with my inherent high level, Albert Einstein and beyond level genius, now I'm gonna be engaging with activities that light my soul up. Now I'm gonna start feeling attracted to my life. Now if it's money that I'm attracted to, if it's a person that I'm attracted to, now I'm in alignment with them. But what's more important is you may realize that you don't even want the person that you thought you wanted. So this is where a lot of problems are caused in the world. We think we want certain things that we don't actually want, right? How many people have maybe been crushing on someone at one point, they really wanted them, then they let them go, they got them to crush back and you no longer wanted them. I know it's happened to Steph, I can see that. Yeah, right, all of a sudden you're like, why does that happen? Because you didn't even want them in the first place. You wanted the idea of them, you wanted what you thought they represented. And this is what happens when we do not realize our inherent high-level brilliance, our inherent high-level genius. Now, you know, there are ways to begin the process of recognizing what makes you genius, because this is what's important to understand. Like, if you were to, you know, ask if I had, you know, like, someone like a Michael Jordan, okay? His inherent high-level brilliance existed in the field of his expertise, of what he was an expert at, which was basketball. His body and his mind were actually built, I think about 95%, I'm getting 94, but about 95% for that sport of basketball, which is really interesting. His mind was built for it. His body was built for it. Even his emotional self, all of him was created by source for that. Michael Phelps, same thing with swimming. So this is where people have a lot of blocks in their life, is that they're attempting to, their intuitive pulls have been hijacked by emotional bias because we're feeling lack in our lives. That lack creates an influx of emotional bias, okay? We start to live a life influenced by who others think we should be, by the world, by the noise of the world, okay? And it causes us to feel disconnected from our innate brilliance, but especially in regards to where our genius resides. And that's really what I want you guys to get at here. Now, the first step to begin this process, really the short answer, is to start to ask yourself, what did you engage with when you were a kid? What are the things that just lit you up when you were a child? Because when you're a kid, you're wildly connected with your intuitive self, right? Did you like to communicate with others? Did you like to help others? Did you like to explore, whatever it may be? But this is the first thing to begin to understand, is that most people have blockages in their life because they're out of alignment with where their genius, where their high-level brilliance actually resides. And once you begin to embark on that path, then you'll find ways to begin to feel it. Then you'll find ways to begin to, utilize it to help the world. Then through that process, you're gonna experience more joy. Well, that joy aligns you with more equanimity, more the purity of who you really are. And this creates a clean, coherent electromagnetic field, and now you are more in accordance with attracting the abundance that you're asking for. One of the blocks that I see in the world is that humans have this tendency. The world wasn't initially designed by source this way, to have idols and put others on a pedestal. The ones that are intended to be in a position of power are intended to empower others to realize their own brilliance. But there are people that are in a position of power that profit off of us placing others on a pedestal. And there's even people that are, have a high level of light within them, meaning they weren't hijacked by what's known as dark forces. That's a different topic for a different day. And they actually did help humanity for the better. If we're placing them on a pedestal, all we are signaling to our psyche is that I am not brilliant. I can't activate that within the self. So I want to give you guys a big step, okay? It's gonna feel small, but a big step to begin the process of realizing your brilliance. Now, all of this is just tip of the iceberg. We're just scratching the surface, okay? Sessions, they're the opportunity to identify specifically how to begin embarking on that soul path, soul pole. But for right now, what I want you guys to understand is what you see in others resides within you. This is a game changer. If you guys can begin to integrate this to the best of your ability. What you see in others resides within you, okay? You might be going, well, dude, that sounds cool, but like, I'm not Michael Jordan, and I can see that he's really athletic. What you're seeing within Michael Jordan is that he has access to brilliance. That exists within you. What you're seeing is that he has activated, the aspects of who he is that's amazing. That resides within you. So what I want you guys to begin to do is to start to look at those that maybe, you have to be honest with yourself, that maybe you have placed on a pedestal, okay? Maybe it's someone that is a really great communicator out there in the world. Maybe it's someone that has a lot of money. The only reason that you can see that in them is because it resides within you and you have the capacity to activate it within yourself. The only reason why you are drawn to them is because they are a source of guidance for you to realize that within yourself. But if we can begin this process, number one, recognizing the things from our childhood that brought us joy, okay? Number two, starting to identify the ones that we do place on a pedestal. Now we gotta be honest with ourselves. You might go, I don't place anyone on a pedestal. Yeah, you probably do, okay? The world is not designed for high frequency souls to not do that. It's just a tendency of the mind, okay? Identify who you place on a pedestal. Could be a celebrity, could be a person that you know, and you go, wait a minute, I'm only seeing that within them because it resides within me. Okay, now this is only scratching the surface on how to begin this process. But what you begin to realize is when you recognize your brilliance is that, you actually begin to heal like physical ailments on the body. We talked about acne. Acne is a byproduct of frustration. Why do we feel frustrated in the first place? We don't feel connected with our brilliance. That's really where frustration comes from. And then we don't feel like others see our brilliance. Well, momentum is one of the most powerful forces that we have in this world. So if I don't realize my brilliance, and we attract what we're a vibrational match for, okay? Now others aren't recognizing my brilliance. That's gonna begin to expand. That's gonna begin to grow, okay? Momentum's one of the most powerful. How you doing? Oh, okay. Were you joining us, or are we with this group? Let's go. We're talking about like creation, meditation, harnessing clarity. You can join us. Yeah, absolutely. Come on in, brother.
Do you do like mindful meditation?
Yeah, a little. Yeah, we talk about meditation, intuition.
Okay, love it.
You like intuition?
Yeah.
Join us. So what we're talking about is how to get the world to realize your brilliance. And the first thing to understand is something known as, and this is a really great review for all of you, okay, is understanding the law of reflections. Life is a reflection of our energy. We attract what we're a vibrational match for. So if you aren't recognizing the brilliance of who you are at your core, how do you think that's going to reflect back to you in your life? Yes or no, are other people going to recognize and see your brilliance?
No.
You got it, okay? Now, technically people might. You're not going to experience them seeing your brilliance, right? You're not going to attract the people that are going to reflect that back to you. And so ultimately what we're getting at here today is that when you realize your brilliance, you harness high levels of clarity. And that clarity gets you back to the equanimity, the peace, the joy, the purity of who we are at our core. At our core, I don't say this to sound lovey-dovey or sweet, although it is, at each of your cores, we are unconditional love. Unconditional love is seeing the perfection, the beauty in all things. That's why dogs are so brilliant. One of the things that I have developed this ability to do over years as a psychic and an intuitive is to communicate with animals. And one of the most amazing things that human beings tend to downplay, dismiss, and not realize is actually how advanced animals are. Even wild animals. You know, you see how vicious a wild animal could be. That's more so out of survival and instinct. But have you ever seen like an actual grizzly bear hang out with humans? They do. Now, attacks happen out of survival instinct, but they're high frequency souls. There's an unconditional love that they're wildly tapped into, and one of their purposes is to actually help humanity awaken to the unconditional love and the purity of who we are. Because here's the truth. Most humans that are high frequency are kind of like, man, I'm sick of humans. I'm like whatever. I like animals because they're more drawn to animals. The truth is, that level of love resides within humans, right? We feel disconnected from it just because the way that the world is currently structured and designed and set up. But now with this information, right, we have an opportunity to realize the purity that resides within us. We have an opportunity to realize the unconditional love that resides within us. Animals teach us that. Dogs are incredible teachers for us. Fun little fact, dogs understand, and cats understand, if you have a dog, understand you a lot more than you might realize. The conversations that you're having. And one of the things that dogs have communicated to me is that they prefer more from their human is that verbal communication, letting them know where you're going. Like they love it because they can understand more than they may realize. But needless to say, there's an unconditional love that resides within each and every one of us. And I have found that the more I find ways to engage with my own inherent high-level genius and brilliance, the more I align with my soul path, my soul pull. Now, do challenges go away when you begin to realize? Absolutely not. You're going to be challenged, right? A lot of people don't like this, and I understand it. So if this analogy doesn't work for you, that's fine. But it works for me, and that life is a test. Now, if it doesn't work for you, throw that analogy away, put it in the garbage. But why do you guys think that I like that life is a test? What do you guys think? Go ahead, Al. Yeah, it's just the test is kind of simple in a lot of ways. You experience an obstacle. It's simply reflecting back to you where you're not realizing the perfection in yourself and life. That's the test. It's testing you. Can you hold the line? When things aren't working out, can you know your brilliance? If not one person on this planet sees you for who you really are, all the test is hold the line, recognize your brilliance anyways. Like, perfect. So in my head, it helps. I'm like, oh, this isn't something personal. Now, we are an aspect of the universe. Life is reflecting our energy, so the test is coming from within. But if you listen to any of the great entrepreneurs in this world, any of the great success stories, they will tell you they had seasons in their life where nobody recognized their vision, nobody recognized their brilliance. Why was that a necessity for them to attract high level of success? Yes, because it was an opportunity, it was a test. Are you going to recognize your brilliance amongst all the naysayers in the world? And if you can, the level at which you recognize your brilliance on the other side of that is going to allow the entire world to begin to see your brilliance, or at least half the planet. And that's what's going to separate the high achievers and the ones that aren't. But the truth is, to be a high achiever, It is possible. It is a math equation. It's instilled within each and every one of you. But source, okay, I want you to think of source as a filler word, wherever you believe we come from. Source is looking for ambassadors. Who's going to represent unconditional love the best? Now, there are people that are in a position of power that don't represent that the best. They have been hijacked by corruption, we'll say it lightly. But for you high frequency souls, Source is looking for ambassadors, ones that are going to help others recognize the benefits in holding the line and realizing your brilliance amongst the chaos of the world, amongst all the distractions that the world has to offer. But like a video game, we talk about this, we've been talking about it the past several weeks. Life is no different than a video game. Why? Why is life no different than a video game? You want to go again now? Okay.
You have to learn the skill sets to upload.
Yeah, and it's already written into the software of a video game that the main character wins the whole game. It's already written into the software. Now, if that video game person, the main character in the video game, had a consciousness, they would be like, it's not written into the software. Like, I played GTA in high school. Anyone else play GTA? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, some GTA. I used to like run around, hijack cars, beat some people up. If that was like a character that could actually communicate and had a consciousness, they'd be so confused if I was trying to explain to them, you've already won the game. It's already written into this game, right? You just have to align with the purpose instilled into the software, the purpose of the game instilled into the software. What I want you guys to understand, it's already written in the quantum realm that you have won. Now, I played GTA in high school. That was like the only video game I'd like ever played except for like Crash Bandicoot when I was really little. And I played Lion King when I was really little. My friend gave me his Xbox and I just abused GTA. But I got to the last level and I never won, right? Could I have won? What would I have needed to do? We talked about this last week.
Make a decision.
Say it again? Make a decision. Okay, what else? Really great. Spend time, yeah. Say it again? Keep at it, yeah, so keep going.
Adapt.
And adapt. You got it. I would have had to try something different. And this is what we talked about last week, is the ability to keep going and adapt, right? You can have a perseverance, but people get beat up because they do things the same way. So for you guys, it's not about you don't have brilliance that resides within you. It's about the ability to couple the perseverance with adaptability. We talked about that last week, but the same thing with life. It's written into the quantum realm that you've achieved your success. Now, you might have to do things a million times, right? Thomas Edison earned his right to discover the light bulb, okay? It was like 10,000 inventions until he got there, okay? At least that's what they say. Who knows if that's true, but we'll have to look intuitively to see what the accuracy of that. But regardless, the story still stands, right? I'm sure at invention 200, he wanted to give up. 10,000. So do you have the capacity to adapt and to keep going and to recognize and discover your brilliance on a soul? Yeah, it's instilled within you. Are you going to be willing to do it? That's up to you. Because empowerment wouldn't exist without that. That's why free will exists. But the truth is, all of you have the capacity to create amazing things in this world, and not only create a life of abundance, optimize your physical health. And this is going to sound superficial, but it's not. Optimize your physical appearance. Optimize all areas of life. Have the best relationships, right? Strengthen your family dynamics. Have all your dreams and goals. But what, maybe the New Age doesn't talk about, New Age spirituality, and a lot of the world doesn't really talk about, is to align with these things. I'm going to give you guys a secret. Realize your brilliance. Figure out what your purpose is. Go gung-ho and adapt, right? Like, figure out what that thing that you were built by Source to do in this lifetime. If this tree was living outside of its purpose and it was attempting to be a flower, okay, it would probably be miserable. And another thing that I've developed the ability to do over years as an intuitive and a psychic is communicate with trees, right? And they're filled with wisdom because they're living in alignment with their purpose and their mission. So we're going to get into some intuitive reads for y'all, but I first want to get into group work. Before we get into group work, is there any questions that you guys have? Okay, cool. All right, so the group work is going to be this. You're gonna share an obstacle with your partner. I don't care if it's really small, I don't care if it's really big. Your partner is gonna help you realize how that allowed you to realize more of your brilliance. Now, how do we go through this process of helping your partner? Do we tell them the answer? No. How do we do this? Yeah, all you're gonna, go ahead.
You reflect on your own experiences.
So that's good. Yes, that is one way to share your own experience. But what I want you guys to do in this exercise, ask your partner questions. Lead them to their own answer. That's where true empowerment comes from, is helping people get to their own answers. Have you ever been told what to do, and even if it was good for you, you didn't want to do it?
Is that not assumptive that you know what the best path for them is? Is that like asking leading questions?
Well, I would say based on,
Like if I understand what their path is, that might not be their path.
exactly, right. So so empowerment comes from realizing the answers reside within us. I'll be a tool, I'll help you get there with questions, but you're gonna help your partner realize what is already within them. So you're gonna help them come to their own answers, to realize their own, how this align them with their brilliance, and see what happens, right? The idea is to play with this, right? We're gonna come back together. If you didn't realize your brilliance, raise your hand, okay? But all you're gonna do is ask your partner questions. So, an example, if I was sharing with my guy here, I'm like, hey, my knee hurts. I want you all to start with, why do you think your knee hurts? You might share the practical answer, well, I banged it on the dresser or something. And then go, and then what what he could ask is like, do you think that's reflecting where you're not putting yourself first? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm not being reflective reflexive, because knees represent flexibility in my own life. Great, where do you think you're not being flexible, right? And then I'll answer the question. Well, how do you think this aligns you with your brilliance? And maybe you'll find an answer. Now, the challenge is gonna be for both of you to answer the question and also come up with questions, okay? So, we're gonna get into groups here. Let's go, let's see. All right, how'd it go? You,
So good.
yeah? Tell me about it.
I feel like that was my. We do this Hawaii game thing a lot, and
Okay.
that one felt the most grounded and equally paced.
Love it.
It was really nice.
That's really great. Chris, how'd it go for you?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me what you got from it.
Well, I definitely could have gone deeper,
Sure.
longer.
Good.
But, it was great to just have somebody else reflect back questions. So then
Yes.
I could continue to. Like,
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
How that works?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like when we're sort of sitting with our stuckness with ourselves, it kind of just stays there, but to just even have someone standing there. Like I remember I've had someone stand there, I'm just like speaking out loud. I'm like, thank you so much for helping. They didn't say a single word. I was like, perfect. L.
I like thinking about the way their perspective sees my situation.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
beautiful.
I like the outside look.
Yes,
So in my opinion.
totally. Now, one thing that we focus on frequently at Saturday service here is understanding that science has shown us that all of life, there's an equal and opposite force to everything. And everything has equal level of positive aspects as they do negative. So one thing that we focus on here frequently is that all of life is bringing you back to the purity, the equanimity, the truth of who you are. When you align with the equanimity, peace, truth of who you are, you align with your purpose and your mission. So these are opportunities for us to go, okay, I'm experiencing these obstacles in my life. How is it actually aligning me more with what I want, with what I am asking for? How is it reflecting my own imbalances and bringing me closer to the things that I desire to attract in my life? And this is where I found some of the greatest breakthrough, right? Now we have all the ways to create that quantum leap and all these things that we talk about. But I want you guys to start with this. You will have a competitive edge over the rest of the world if you guys can begin to develop a level of mastery under seeing the perfection in everything, realizing your brilliance. And again, this is tip of the iceberg, okay? We're only scratching the surface with this, but I want you guys to start with this. So we're gonna get into groups again, and well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do reads. I'll do reads on 2 people today, okay? We usually do it for those that are new, and then we're gonna get into groups one more time, and then we're gonna close out with song, okay? So for those that are new here, I'm an intuitive healer. And I've spent almost 10 years at this point developing the psychic ability to communicate with energy. And everything, quantum physics has shown us that all of life is energy. This tree, it's energy. Physical bodies are emanating energy. It's all energy. So I read energy for a living, and I help people get from where they are, from where they desire to be, in the quickest way possible. Now, does it always feel quick? Sometimes no, because you're raw dog in life. But, so today I'm gonna look at where, so what I'm gonna look at for y'all is for who wants to go. So raise your hand if you're new. Okay, so 3. Let's do 3 today. If you guys want to read, for those that are new, I'll give it to you. on where you're currently not recognizing your brilliance and what it's holding you back from getting more of. I'm going to look at where you're not realizing your brilliance. I'm going to call you out a little bit. So if you don't want the read, that's totally fine. And what it's holding you back from attracting. So raise your hand if you don't want your read if you're new. You guys are good? You want your read? Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And the reads are still for everyone, right?
Oh, that's good. Yes. That's really great stuff. So the way that intuition works, okay, the reads that you guys are going to hear for everyone here, they're also going to be for you guys that aren't receiving a read, okay? Now, we do reads for the people that are new, but we're also, as we continue Saturday service, going to be doing reads for people that also aren't new, okay? So that those that show, I want you guys to know that you'll also get opportunities for that. That's just been the theme the past couple of weeks here. Let me stretch this leg out. Yeah, that's cool. All right. 2 seconds. Want to go?
No, sir.
All right, cool. So, and that's good. I mean, maybe we just cut reads out sometimes, but okay. So, for you right now, where you're not seeing your brilliance, I'm gonna go. It's like your ability to create something amazing. The ability to. All right, that's holding you back from money. Okay. All right. So one of the things that's holding you back right now from attracting even more money in your life, and more so specifically for you, it's going to be sustainable money that feels like it is easily and accessible in your life. Like, I don't know if you guys have this experience, you attract a lot of money at once, then it goes away. This is going to be more money that is sustainable in your life. For you right now, the block comes down to feeling as if you can create it's to sort of like develop the practical steps that it takes to create something unique to you in this world. Right now, it's not saying that you have not fully connected to your genius and your ability to recognize the practicality that's required to attract things that we're asking for. So a lot of spirituality will have us thinking that we need to just get our frequency and vibration in alignment with it, meditate. The truth is, to align with your dreams and goals, it requires 100% of your actions, practical steps, and energetic self to be in alignment with it. So right now, that's where your block would be. It's like the practical, like almost like the math. Does that make sense a little bit? The numbers, yeah, I'm like seeing a lot of numbers that are like, fuck. So play with that, see what you can come up with, okay? We have the ways to create that breakthrough, but I always say, see what you can come up with first. That's where empowerment begins. Then you're ready for the breakthrough, okay? You ready? You cool on camera? All right, sick. You're like, woo. All right, for you, all right, so you actually recognize your spiritual gifts. You're just not saying, like, you see, like, if I had to give you an analogy, it's like if you have this amazing painting and you showed us and everyone's like, well, it's a really great painting. And then I brought over like a giant painting that looks realistic and I'm like, you have the capacity to paint that. That's sort of where your block is right now. It's like, it's realizing truly what you have the capacity to harness spiritually. And it's blocking you right now. So we talked about sustainability with money, more so than just more money. For you, it's gonna be that same thing except socially. Like this, right? Makes sense? Okay. Elle, you want one?
This is mine.
Oh.
She looked at me and she's like,
You want one? We'll do one more.
oh, read?
Yeah, I want to give it to one of y'all that have.
That was like perfect for me.
Okay, cool. For you, you're blocked right now. Yeah, I mean, it is spot on, but I'm going to actually hone it in for you specifically. Your block is more so coming in regards to utilization, in regards to the tools that you have, feeling as if like when it actually comes time, like you're really connected with the bigger picture in regards to your spiritual gifts. It's like when the paintbrush gets in your hand, that's when the freeze happens. There's a confidence leading up to when the paintbrush hits your hand. And again, analogy, spirituality. So yours is more so, it really, and I'm going to give you, I know I haven't given everyone a step on how to create the breakthrough, but for right now, it really is going to come down to beginning the process of utilization more. More utilization, you're going to start to feel more brilliance. And yeah, it's creating, yeah, there's more money for you on the other side as well. Yeah, so, yeah. So yours is, yeah. All right, Cool. Any questions? Okay, so we're gonna get into groups one more time, okay? And we call these gratitude groups. All you're gonna do is share something you're grateful for with your partner. That's it. And your partner is just gonna ask a bunch of questions. Why? Now, how is this beneficial for us in our lives? If I go, I'm grateful for the tree, and my partner asks me why is that beneficial for me?
They're emotionally connected.
Yes, it helps me emotionally connect. Right? I don't know how many of you had this experience where you say you're grateful for something, and you are, but you're not feeling the gratitude. All right, so this helps us feel the gratitude. So you're just gonna ask your partner a bunch of questions to allow them to share why they're grateful for this thing. I don't care if it's your physical body, I don't care if it's your dog, I don't care if it's for a family member, I don't care if it's for the tree, I don't care if it's for a cloud, for a color. Ask why, and just get them to open up about why they're grateful. We're gonna go 2 minutes each. We're gonna do different groups, okay? Let's go. How'd it go for you? Yeah, right? Yeah. How'd it go?
Amazing.
Yeah? You guys? It was good? Cool? Anyone wanna share?
It's like the energy grows when we're talking. It's like you can feel
Yes, you feel it expand, right? Yes. Explosion of gratitude. Okay. All right, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to be here at Saturday service. We are here each and every week. Next week, we will not be. I'll be out in San Diego. I leave Tuesday to go to San Diego, see some family, celebrate my birthday, jump out of an airplane. That'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be cool. And so, good call. Intuitively, do I get a parachute? Yeah. Yes. I'm hearing a yes, yeah. We have more free resources for you guys. We have the Source Clarity podcast, okay? We have what's known as Saturday Service podcast. So this is recorded, and you guys can listen back to it. We'll also be doing a follow-up to this, where I'll be recording on my own, a follow-up, going even deeper than we went here. Yeah,
Quick question.
yes,
Will you leave my read in?
yes. Listen back, yeah, absolutely. And also we have something known as Creating Clarity webinars. Those are completely free. They're on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and you can totally join the webinar. We'd love to have you. It's an opportunity to ask questions. We dive deeper on topics that allow you to align with high level of success, whether it be in regards to your health, whether it be in regards to your businesses, whether it be in regards to relationship, anything. When you develop your intuition, you have this opportunity to accelerate the success in your life, and this is it's not what it's all about, but it's the byproduct of aligning with the equanimity, the truth of who you really are at your core. And then, yes, we won't be back next week. June 13 we'll be back, and then let me see if there's anything else. That's it.
Where does this follow-up get posted, if I can ask? Instagram, your website? Where,
Oh yeah, that's perfect. So with all this stuff, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like this and all the...
Yeah. So social media is a big place. Yeah, we have a free membership or like newsletter. I'll put that in the chat. We also have a Telegram group chat that we started a couple months back. You can get it from Steph. So after this, if you're interested, you can join our Telegram chat. I really just share like what, we'll be talking about in the week and stuff like that. It's just like 1 or 2 messages you guys get a week. So yeah, Telegram, email, and then social media is a big one. I'm on social media as well to get more of that information. So cool. Any questions before we get into song here? All right. All right, so you guys can snap along. This is a song I wrote called I Find God. I find God in the breath I breathe. Early in the morning, I find God listening to birds sing with gratitude and glory. I smile when I create space. I close my eyes and meditate. Ooh, I find God. I find God in the mountains, basking in sun showers. There's something so astounding about the fragrance of their flowers. Wandering in the green and all of Mother Nature's power. Ooh, I find God. Bye, friend. Hallelujah. Hey, sorry. Good seeing you. I can't help it. Hallelujah. Yes. See ya. Hallelujah. Hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Hallelujah. Hey. Hallelujah. Hey. I find God with my family, oh yeah, by my side. I see heaven when I look into my mama's eyes. My daddy is a winner, so is my aunt, brother, and sister. Ooh, I find God. Ready, Milo? Hallelujah, hey. Hallelujah, hey. Hallelujah, hey. Nice. Hallelujah, hey. Nice, Chris. Hallelujah, hey. Hallelujah, hey. Ooh, I find God. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are wonderful.